What's going on, YouTube? Happy Saturday to everybody. Oh, phone's yelling at me. Happy Saturday. Hope you guys are having a good weekend so far. Hope you guys are doing something nice. Going to go out and do something with the family. So here we are once again, me and you, and we're going to talk a little bit about the fears of going to federal prison and the pity party that a lot of us throw as we are preparing to go to federal prison. So that's going to be our focus today. We'll let everybody join us. Hope you all are ready. And let's jump into this here in about 30 seconds. While we're waiting, if you haven't done so, this would be a great time to go ahead and subscribe to our channel by pressing the subscribe button. Also, texting the word YouTube to 76626. That will put you on our notification list. You've got all that information right here on your screen. So let me know who is joining us today, who's with us. Anybody brand new in the room? Anybody have any questions? Anybody have a friend or a family member? Or maybe you're getting ready to go to federal prison yourself, and maybe you've got some questions that you would like to discuss. I got an amazing email from an RDAP coordinator. She asked me not to mention the prison. She actually asked me not to mention her name just because she doesn't want any blowback, but she thinks what we're doing is amazing. She said she started watching my channel shortly after my release from prison and was amazed at the continuance of how we transgressed from the life that we came from to where we are today. And she loves how we're holding each other accountable in this room. She thinks it's a great mentor program for so many people going to prison or not even going to prison, just anybody in general. So it was some really encouraging words to hear from somebody that's on the other side of things, that's supposed to be the enemy. Woman of the past, hey, how you doing? Is your team has a connection with California? Woman of the past, if you could be more specific, is what you're referring to by connections. I'm not sure what you're asking, but we have clients that are in California. We have a lot of clients that are in prison in California, so let me know what it is you're asking. Also, don't forget, if you want to get your RDAP Dan wristband, we've got the blue, the pink, and the white. All you got to do is head over to our website, rdapdan.com, and there's a section on there for members only. Click on the members only, subscribe, become a member. It's completely free, and it will give you the ability to get your wristband, as well as give you our awesome free sentencing tool, which you can use to help decide what prison you want to ask for as a recommendation. It can also help you ask for specific days to surrender, on which days you're going to serve less time. If you start, depending on when you go in, you can serve a shorter sentence based on the day of week that you surrender. So make sure you take a good look at the website. We've got a lot of upcoming information coming into the website real soon that we're going to be talking about. Well, you were just saying that you have a team now that helps people around America to see we can help them legally. Woman of the past, feel free to text me. The team that we have is a team of, what's going on, Robert? Our team is to help with personal narratives, character reference letters, customer service, making sure you guys are getting all of your needs met. And if you do have some specific questions, we do have some awesome paralegals. We also have a lady that we're speaking with that spent time in federal prison. She was an attorney before going to federal prison. She really likes what we're doing and the work that we're doing, and she wants to offer her experience and her services to us, to you guys, to create the best possible outcome for the best possible situation, to not only bring you home sooner and faster, but to bring you home more prepared, start preparing for your release as soon as possible. And these are some of the programs that we have in place right now that you guys have the ability to take advantage of. Sounds good, woman of the past. Shoot me that email. I'll be looking for it. We work 24/7, as you guys know. I take very little time off. I'm here at the office on a Saturday. It's been a journey going from for the majority working out of a home office to an actual office. It's got its pros and its cons, because working at home, you can wake up, roll over, go to work. You can plan your day around being at home working. What's going on, Junior? And, coming to an office, there's a little bit, and it's got its benefits to coming to an office as well, because you can kind of turn it on and turn it off when I leave the house, it's on. When I get back to the house, I intentionally leave a lot of stuff here at the office, meaning like certain computers, different files, because that forces me to take a little bit of me time when I'm at home. But we usually put in a good 14 to 15 hour day here at the office. We get here around 7 and usually aren't home till 8, 9 o'clock. So we're definitely putting in a decent amount of time to make sure you guys got all the needs necessary. I'm being interviewed. My entire team is being interviewed this coming Monday by a production company that's very interested in maybe taking this to the next step. So I'm very interested. I'll keep you guys posted what's going on that. I do not want to name the production company just of yet because let's keep that a surprise until it's ready to go. But it's a big name in the industry for sure. So we're very much looking forward to that. All right. So talking about this video today, you're going to federal prison. So what? It's time to deal with it. It's time to focus on what's in front of you and stop thinking about how unfair it is and how you can't deal with this and how this is going to be so hard on your family and how are you supposed to get past this. You're going to. You're going to get past it. The choice is and the decision is, how are you going to get past it? There's no doubt in my mind that everybody that's going to federal prison is going to get through it, unless something crazy happens in prison and you're going for life. Something crazy happens and you don't ever make it out of prison. But for the most of you that are nonviolent, first-time offenders, whether you're a white-collar criminal, a drug offender, first time going to prison, if you're going to be spending less than a decade in prison, there is going to be a point where you're back home. How you prepare for your release starting now is the most important thing you're going to be doing, not just to get out sooner. That is, I get it. That's everybody's main focus right now is to get out sooner. But I promise you, when you start following the plan that we put in place, the whole system starts to unwind and it starts to change. And you start doing things for the right reason and not just because of what you're going to get from it. And what you'll start to learn is when you start doing things for the right reason, all of those other things that you've always wanted start to just fall in place automatically. It's just the way that it works. And I wish it did not take me till the age I'm at now to realize this. Not just the age being I'm about to turn 40. I wish it didn't take all of the consequences throughout my entire life to learn that now. I wish it didn't take me, being away from my family and being away from my kids and not being the father that I needed to be and not being the provider that I needed to be, not being the friend that I could have been. There were so many things that I could have improved in my life if I just got that simple idea of do it for the right reason and everything else will fall in place. If I would have understood that at a much younger point in my life, I don't want to use age because age is irrelevant. We're talking about where you are mentally in your space. I was mentally very young for a long time. I mentally did not age until I went to prison. And aging in this aspect was not a bad thing. Usually we think of age, we think of creaky bones, gray hair, fatigue, sleeping all day, all kinds of other wrinkles. We think of all of those things. Well, when age, in this context, let's think of it as wisdom. My wisdom was non-existent, and now I feel like I'm just touching the surface of wisdom that's out there. And every day feels like a new day. And when I talk to people, sometimes the relatable conversation is so impactful that you can see somebody looking at me going, wow, you think differently than a lot of other people. And it's like, look, don't give me credit. Don't think because I made it through prison that there's anything special about me. Everybody makes it through prison. What we try to explain to you guys, you see me upbeat, you see me excited about life, you see me wanting to do positive things, you see me wanting to share this information. All of you are going to want to do all of these same things. So don't think there's anything great and special about me. I just happened to jump on YouTube and talk about it and found a group of you guys that were interested in it. That's the only thing that I'm doing different than a lot of you. But the way that you guys think and feel right now is exactly how I thought and feel. I was not Mr. Motivational when I was getting ready to go to prison. I was Mr. This is not fair. The government is picking on me. There's people out there doing way worse things than I'm doing. Why am I going to prison? It was all about why, not fair, victim, victim, victim. Those were my thoughts and my energy, and I didn't do anything to properly prepare for my journey to prison. Granted, I got some amazing outcomes. I ended up serving 13 months on a 42-month sentence, and it wasn't by luck, but I am a firm believer right now that I had a strong opportunity. There was a strong opportunity and a possibility that I may have not done a moment in prison if I would have been doing the type of thought process that I'm doing now that I wasn't doing then. And what I mean by then, not getting in trouble, I'm talking about from the time that I got in trouble in 2011 to 2014. I got in trouble in 2011. I didn't go to prison until 2014. If I had made some major changes in my life then, took some responsibility, actually worked on goals, cared about things that mattered, understood what mattered, like personal narratives, character reference letters, understanding what was going to go into my PSR, knowing what kind of questions I should be asking my attorney, understanding all of these things that I just assumed my attorney was going to take care of, there may have been an opportunity that I did not spend a moment in prison because I would have been able to create a different view of myself to others, and I didn't work on that. You make me wonder if I should do something to go to prison. Robert, no. Look, or maybe you're living a shitty life and you just haven't gotten hit on the head yet. Maybe you're not living, when I say shitty, I don't mean like, poor or struggle. Maybe you're not in a point in life where you want to be. Maybe deep down inside you're not mentally happy or excited about what's going on. And maybe it's going to take something like prison that is going to connect with you to get you to see that next level of what life can be. So maybe it is prison. Maybe it's something else. It could be anything. Different people might have different triggers. For me, it was definitely going to prison in my Tony Robbins book, which is around here somewhere. Good old Tony Robbins. But I've got a client right now. He was actually in here. We're just going to talk about him. So you guys saw Scott. He was in the room. We did a video with him. We did a video with him before he went in, then we did a video with him like the day before he surrendered. So he's in prison right now, and he's going through a really, really, really funky time. And it's not funky because of the prison. It's funky because of his mental state of mind and his mental attitude. And his mother has been telling me that he's telling her that he doesn't think he wants to do RDAP. He can do RDAP. He can qualify for RDAP. He can get the time off for RDAP. But he's telling his mother that he doesn't think he wants to do it because he doesn't want to deal with people telling him what to do. And he doesn't want to deal with all these younger kids holding him accountable and dealing with all of the nonsense because he's, in his late 50s. And ultimately, I think he's completely full of shit. I think he's saying these things to his mother because he's looking for a reaction. He's looking for, oh no, you got to try. Don't give up. No, keep trying. I'm telling you guys, if you're a friend or a family member of somebody getting ready to go into the system or they're already in the system, if they're playing that game with you where you feel like they're almost boo-hooing while they're in prison, and if you're catering to it, my God, you are part of the problem and not part of the solution. If you are not verbally smacking that person around to snap them out of it, you're just enabling and catering to that type of attitude. I tell you what, he will not say that to me. I even sent him an email. His mother asked me not to say anything to him. And I told her, I can respect you asking me not to, and I won't. But I can tell you, you calling me and telling me about it, but you not doing anything about it with him is not helping. I get it, you're frustrated. And if you're not telling him you're frustrated because you're fearful that maybe he'll shut down and not talk to you either, okay, sometimes we may have to push somebody away in order to bring them in close. And if you don't understand that, then you're just not there yet. If you're getting ready to go to prison, now let's talk about the other person on the other side. If you are facing a federal prison sentence, or you're in trouble, and you got the government breathing down your back, if you are not getting up and focusing and doing something positive with your day, you are dwelling and you are having a pity party. Maybe you don't understand that yet. Maybe you don't know what you should be doing, but something is better than anything. I mean, anything is better than nothing. So if you're sitting there feeling sorry for yourself, you need to snap out of it. because nobody else really cares. Nobody really feels that bad for you. They might pity you and they might go, thank God I'm not in that guy's situation or that woman's situation, but they don't really care. They don't care what the outcome is. Only you do. If you think other people are going to care more about your situation than you do, or if you think you're fucking special in some way where you're like, oh, this isn't fair. Why isn't this happening to everybody else? It is. Nobody talks about it. That's the problem. So when it does happen to somebody like you or me or somebody else, all of a sudden we feel like the world's come down on us. And really, we brought it on ourselves. So if you are that person right now that's watching this video and you're just stuck in this negative thought process and you think there's no hope and you're not going to try and you find yourself being a little bit negative around people, nobody wants to be around you. People can't wait for you to go to prison. Because they're like, oh my God, when is it? It's like having cancer, watching somebody die of cancer. Part of you is just going, oh my God, when's this person going to die? Because this is so hard to watch. It's like watching somebody drowned and you can't do anything to help them because they won't help themselves. You are in a self-defeating state of mind that is not doing you, your friends, your family, your children, your mother, your animals, whatever it is. It's not doing anybody any good. The only thing that's going to start doing positive change in your life is you start doing things that are very uncomfortable and you get up and you force yourself to do the things that you don't want to do that you know you should be doing. Deep down inside, we've all got things that we know we should be doing, but we're not doing it because it's easy. And it's easy to come up with excuses. I talk to clients all the time that are like, hey, I'm getting ready to take my plea. I'm taking my plea next week. I'm like, great. What have you been doing with your free time? Well, maybe going to work. Some people go to work. Some people are like, well, I'm not even going to work right now because what's the point? So when I say to them, well, are you going out and are you putting, you've been watching my videos, right? Like, yeah, I've been watching your videos. Well, great. Have you engaged in any community service yet? Have you created any type of mentor network? Well, no, not yet. And I don't know if I should now. What's the point? Is it too late? Because, I'm taking my plea next week. Aren't they just going to think that I'm doing it because? Quit making excuses for why you're not doing it. Maybe it won't help. Maybe there's nothing you can do that's going to make a difference. But oh my God, if you don't try and you just sit there and make excuses like maybe it's not going to matter, maybe nobody's going to care, maybe I'm not going to get an RDAP, maybe they're not going to give me any additional halfway house time, maybe the judge isn't going to care about personal narratives and character reference letters, maybe. It makes me want to pull the little bit of hair I have left straight out of my scalp because it's that thought that is preventing you from progressing in your life. And when I'm telling you guys, quit thinking that these things are going to matter to somebody else. Once you start to look at it differently, and I'm telling you it's going to matter to you. If you start doing these things that we discuss, it's going to start making a difference to you. Regardless how that judge responds, regardless how the prison responds, regardless how the RDAP responds, those are going to ultimately become icing on the cake and benefits to your new choices and your new lifestyle and the new attitude and the way that you're going to think and feel. You're going to be able to embrace all of these hurdles and consequences and struggles that you're going to meet because you're now mentally preparing for them. You understand and you've accepted the reality that you're in. Once you start accepting the reality that you're in, which is a choice, you choose to start accepting. You choose to start doing things that are uncomfortable. Slowly but surely, all of the, not surely, but surely, all of these uncomfortable actions start to become more comfortable. And you start to see the world through different eyes. That doesn't mean you're going to get less time in prison. That doesn't mean you're going to get probation. That doesn't mean you're going to get RDAP. But what it does mean is whatever does happen, you're going to be okay with it and you're going to smile through it because you're going to find a way to get through it with a positive attitude versus this bullshit, bitchy, naggy, I hate the world hates me attitude that you have right now where everybody around you just wants to blow their brains out because you're so negative. I'm talking to a very large percentage of people that go through this process that you and I have, or what I went through and what a lot of you are going to go through. I feel like I can say this without being judgmental because not only was I there, I've spoken to so many of you that were at that very spot, and I've seen so many of you turn your life around well before entering into prison. I've seen such change and such motivation and when I say change, I'm talking about change like happiness and energy, and you haven't even gone to prison yet. It's because so many of you have taken this theory and comprehended it and realized that it's not just about what the judge might do. You stop focusing on that. You start focusing on how it makes you feel by doing these things that are uncomfortable. Every uncomfortable task you complete is rewarded with tenfold of satisfaction. Everybody's experienced that at some point in their life where they were in their darkest moment. They needed to do something, whether it was they were looking for a job, they were trying to get their driver's license back, they were trying to re-engage with a family member, they had a paper that was due, they had an assignment that was due. We've all been there where anxiety and stress was at the max, and the minute we took action and started working on a plan, a roadmap to success, even before you got there, you started feeling better. It's human nature. I'm telling you, stop thinking and worrying about going to federal prison. Stop being a baby about it and start focusing on what you need to do to create a positive outcome. What we do here at Federal Prison Time with RDAP Dan is not just write you some letters, prepare you for RDAP, prepare you for your PSR, get you additional halfway house time. Those are all benefits and icing on the cake to what happens once you start to mentally change your mindset. And I can't explain that until you go through it. But I'm telling you, if you're watching this video, and you know what's fucked up is I see so many people that would normally be on here right now. If I was talking about how to make a prison taco, or if I was talking about how to do a tattoo in prison, there'd be 3,000 people in this room and teaching you how to make a fucking prison taco or a prison burrito or how to do a prison tattoo. Not to say that's not entertaining and fun to watch. It's not doing anybody any good about changing their life and about changing their momentum. As I watch people drop out of this room right now, where now we're down to 8 people watching, it's satisfying to know that we're weeding out the fucking people that can't grasp the reality and the concept, because I'm not talking to 1 million people. I'm talking to 8 people right now who are going through something frustrating that they don't know how to deal with, and really deep down inside you do know how to deal with it. You're just not doing it. You all know what to do, but you're not doing it. You're waiting to hear that magic recipe. We're going, oh, that's what I needed to do. No, it's not going to happen. What you need to do is the minute we're done with this video is you need to go do something that's positive. Go out and start. I mean, it's Saturday. Get a list. Get your phone book open. Get Google. Start talking to school. Start talking to your friends and family about what you can do to improve your relationship with them. What can you do to improve your relationship with your attorney? What is your attorney not doing that you wish he was doing, and how vocal are you being in that situation with your attorney? How much does your attorney know about RDAP and personal errors and character reference letters? How accountable are you really holding them? So many times I hear my clients, not even clients, people in general, when I'll ask them, well, what does your attorney think about that? Well, whenever I call him, he's kind of busy. It sounds like you're kind of like dancing around and you're afraid of your attorney and you're afraid of how he's going to respond and you're afraid your attorney's going to yell at you. You are the one going to prison, not me, not your attorney, not any of your friends or family. You have to be willing to say the things that you need to say, because if you don't say them now, they're never going to come out. Just like when you're standing there at that altar, right? When you're getting ready to get married, what do they say? Does anybody have anything they'd like to say? If they don't say it now, forever hold your peace. Now is the time to bring up conversation. Now is the time to bring up issue and concern. Now is the time to ask questions if you don't know. It's going to be too late at some point and you won't be able to do anything about it. So then that's when you'll make justifications going, my attorney was shitty, my attorney didn't help me, and I want to go file a 2255 for ineffective counsel. Even though most of you know right now that you should be holding your attorney way more accountable. So stop being a blob. Stop being a time vampire where you're just waiting and sucking life out of people because you don't know what to do with your time. How's that for Saturday upbeat activity of the day? I'm just here to listen to your good advice. You're a great counselor. I like your words of wisdom. Well, thank you, Malcolm. Boy, you guys come up with the longest names. But I appreciate that. That's the point. Is there's plenty of time for fun and games, and we try to incorporate that as much as possible on here. But lately we've been really, really busy with a lot of clients with a lot of concerning questions, and I feel like some of the stuff really needs to be. You really need to get on the right page, because this mouse and this microphone and this camera you see and my voice and everything we do here, this office, it's not a magical place. It's not a magic wand. What this is an informational vessel to bring stuff that I feel is relevant to you for you to do something with it. Just by you watching me and listening to me and hiring me doesn't mean everything is going to magically fix itself. You have to work. Right now, let me tell you something we're dealing with, and it blows my mind. We have a client that hired us to help them get into RDAP. They did not disclose the information to the probation officer during the PSR. They have legitimate substance abuse, at least according to the client. They have things that they've been struggling with their entire life, but they didn't bring it up because they were in fear of that it would affect their outcome, which a lot of you and I understand that. So she hired us. We matched her up with an amazing substance abuse professional. He went through all of her information. He got everything from her, created the timelines based on what she said, sent it to her. She was in prison, sent her the evaluation to submit. She took the evaluation and made her own edits to it. And she put in that evaluation that the substance abuse professional that was helping her also had sessions with her a couple of years ago, trying to show extra documentation to verify her substance abuse. She didn't need to do this. She just thought it would be a good idea to manipulate and lie and put stuff on the report that didn't happen. And you know what happened? The RDAP coordinator said, hey, based on this conversation you had with this person 2 years ago, I need some of those clinical notes. So I get an email and a phone call from the person that is her point of contact. And they're like, hey, is there any way that, I'm not going to say the substance abuse counselor's name because we use a couple different ones. Is there any way that the counselor that you're using for this, is there any way that he can write something saying backdating dates from a couple years ago? And at this point, I didn't understand. I'm like, what do you mean? He already put it in the report that she stated. He goes, yeah, but she needs something stating that he evaluated her a couple years ago. I was like, but he didn't. He's not going to say that. He's not going to put his license on the line for that. He's not going to put his career and his reputation on the. So I'm not understanding. So then she's calling me up. She's like, well, we paid a lot of money for this. And I'm like, I get it. Well, what's the problem? Well, the substance abuse or the RDAP coordinator is asking for more documentation. I'm like, but what specifically? She's like, well, I got to find out and I'll get it to you. So I reach out to the substance abuse professional that we referred her to. He sends me an email that the client sent from prison. And that email blew my mind. The client made up dates and made up interview processes and made up sessions that never took place like 2 years ago. And now the RDAP coordinator wants notes to validate that. And it's like, hey, we can't give you that because that doesn't exist. Which goes to tell me that this person never learned a lesson from what they did to get in trouble to where they are right now, because they are still making fucked up choices, even though we're telling them everything that we can share. So you can lead a horse to water, you cannot make it drink, and at the end of the day, this person is not going to be willing to take accountability because she's going to say, well, this is what we paid you for. No, it is not. And if you're watching this video right now, I hope you're watching this video right now because I'm talking directly to you. This is not what you hired me for at all. So get that out of your head, because we are not here to falsify documents. We are not here to create a fairyland. We're here to document your life as it really took place in events that really happened. If you're going to lie to get in RDAP, that's great. That's between you, God, and the RDAP coordinator. But I'm telling you right now, RDAP, and I tell it to everybody, RDAP is no walk in the park. Just because you're in RDAP doesn't mean you're going to get through RDAP. And if you lied your way into RDAP and you haven't understood what I've told you, that there's no time for that in RDAP. They will sniff you out. They will find that you're manipulating the system. And God forbid, they're probably going to find out that you made everything up. And know what's going to happen then? You're kicked out of the program. You're probably not going to get any additional halfway house time. You may end up in a shoe or the hole or sent to a different prison. You're just creating more aggression and you're creating more consequence. You're creating more grief for you, for your family, for everybody around you, because you can't just take it for what it is and own up your responsibility and start doing things for the right reason. Comes down to that simple fact. Are you doing it for the right reason? Everybody wants to take RDAP for the time off. That's great. You get into RDAP, but if you're making it, once you get into RDAP 30, 60, 90 days, real quick, you're going to realize that you're going to have to do more than just want time off. You're going to have to be willing to bend, to rethink your thought process. You're going to have to be willing to do things that you didn't think you were going to have to do. You're going to have to put yourself through an emotional boot camp, and you're going to have to take it. And then you'll start doing things for the right reason. So I'm telling you, it doesn't work the way that you want it to work. You have to accept these facts of reality, or else you're wasting my time, you're wasting your time, and you're going to prison, not me. So feel free to waste my time. I'm not a mind reader. I can't tell if you're full of shit when you have a really good manipulation concept going. I'm just here to hope that the little seeds that I'm planting out there at some point is going to grab a hold of you and you're going to sprout from that. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. Maybe there's not enough damn water in the world to sprout your seed. You should coin phrase that. It's very wild, Robert. That's what I say. That's the first time I've ever seen that. At least that's the first time I've seen it to where it got back to me. I can't say that people haven't done crazy shit like that before, because some people, once they get in, they disappear and you don't hear from them. But yeah, that was insane. What's going on, George? But Diana, you're saying there's a serious disconnect with that lady. There's a serious disconnect with most people in general, and that's what leads us to the situation. Most people that are going to go to federal prison are not innocent. They're not innocent. And that's why we don't sit on this channel and preach prison reform and we need to get rid of minimum mandatories. There's plenty of other organizations out there that are all for that. I'm not against any of that. I'm not saying that things are not necessarily, that things are unfair in a lot of situations. I agree that there needs to be change. But there's so many other people out there advocating for that I believe that so many of you that are watching this channel, if I was to sit here and say it's not fair that so-and-so got 10 years, it's not fair that they're indicting you for this when this person got away with this, all that's doing is allowing you to justify your choices and allow you to not take responsibility for what you did and put it on to something else to misdirect what's going on. Most of us did something along the lines of what the government said we did. To some extent, maybe they embellished, maybe they didn't, maybe we don't see it their way, but whatever it is, we put ourselves into their line of fire, and now it's time to own it. It's time to take responsibility. Are you trying to go for a 5K one? Go for it. I'm not here to tell you not to tell on somebody. I mean, God, you already made other bad choices. We already think are rational, or we already think that our thinking is rational, when really it's probably irrational. That's how we got in this position to begin with. So now all of a sudden you're supposed to make the best decision and not tell on somebody, when maybe telling on them is the best thing you could do for them. Maybe that's going to save their life and your life in the long run. Stopping somebody now from a bad decision later on could be the difference in what changes their life. They might hate you right now, but you may have taken somebody out of an element that they weren't ready to come out of, that's going to ultimately have giant benefits into their future. So that's what I'm here to say today, guys. I have nothing but love for every single one of you, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm here to say things that I wish, things that were said to me when I was going through this. We always hear our parents say it when we were kids, and we say it to our kids. I wish I knew your age what I know now. I would have made better decisions, better choices. Well, that's how I feel with this. I wish I had knew things when I was going through this that I know right now, because I do believe it would have made a world of difference. I came out of prison okay. I took my experience and I did what I had to do. I learned things that I wasn't prepared to learn, that I learned because I was forced to do things that were uncomfortable. And putting myself into an uncomfortable situation was probably the best thing I ever could have done. So now I put myself into uncomfortable situations every day. Every day. I have lost so many friends, I can't even begin to tell you how many friends I've lost. And not because we're no longer friends, but because I slowly started disassociating myself from people that were not going to add to part of my solution in life. And my solution in life is communication and valuable conversation. We're not going to waste our time talking about the game. We're not going to waste our time talking about the weather. We're not going to waste our time talking about which sports team is better and why this team's going to get this player and why this guy's a free agent. Who gives a fuck? None of that matters unless you're part of the NFL or you're part of the NBA. It doesn't matter. That is not going to change my life, who wins the Super Bowl or who loses. I could care less. What's going to change my life is feeding my mind with knowledge and focusing on what I love. And right now what I love is spending time with my family and creating this awesome concept that has turned into a business. We're getting ready to create focus groups. We're getting ready to bring in people just to give us ideas of not how we can make more money, but how we can get in front of more people. And ultimately, getting in front of more people will probably result in more money. So again, if I don't focus on that and I focus on what I like, and what I like is seeing the channel grow and seeing more and more people getting involved, getting these crazy phone calls out of the blue from production companies who my content has reached, and they're seeing potential and how this could inspire so many people. First thing she asked me, what are your intentions with this? I said, man, to get in front of as many people possible that are going through a struggle in life, whether it's prison or whether it's anything that's rough that they don't know how to deal with it. They feel all alone, and once they realize they're not alone, and once they realize that they're being selfish and lazy, and they're being hard-headed by allowing themselves to live in that spot, that's usually when we start seeing people get better. I hate when I hear somebody tell me, I was thinking about committing suicide before I saw your video. It's hard to hear that. And I'm glad you found me before you did something drastic like that. But Jesus, man, if you were that far off the deep end right now, where you're thinking about hurting yourself or hurting somebody else because of the situation you're in right now, you are not giving yourself enough credit to be able to deal with stress. You can't be that weak-minded to think the only ticket is to blow your brains out and leave all of this path of destruction behind you. So if you're watching this video right now and you're thinking about hurting yourself, you're not hurting yourself. You're taking the easy way out. That's a ticket. If you want to take the easy way out, that's what you've done your entire life. That's why you feel like that right now. You've always done what's easy, and now the hard thing is to deal with it. And because you've never dealt with anything fucking hard in your entire life, you want to go take that easy ticket and blow your brains out? No, don't do it. Because all those people you're leaving behind, they're the ones you're fucking. So if you don't care about hurting people and you don't care about creating chaos and destruction in your life, then do what you got to do. But if you do care about anybody in your life right now, even if they don't care about you, if you care about somebody, regardless of what they think about you, if you care about them, then do the hard thing and pick up a book, pick up a phone, get on the email, email me on your computer, do something that is going to make change in your life. I promise you, if it's uncomfortable right now, it's going to feel great once you get there. That's all we got time for today, guys. I'm going to a play tonight. Thank you, Scott. Appreciate it. And Diana, you're right. Life is not fair. We need to learn how to deal with it and move on. Some folks pay big bucks and get the same advice. So what you're saying is I should charge more for this advice. All right. Well, you can tip me. You can donate right on this channel if you want to. Hey, guys, we accept donations, and I know you know that, and I know that sounds petty as shit, but our donations don't go to our pockets. Our donations go to help the people that need our services or that are in prison, that need some assistance, and we don't help people in prison that are pity partying. Trust me when I tell you that. If we're helping people in prison, it's because they're doing the right thing. They're spreading the word in there. Like we talk about him all the time. Can't think of his name right now, but he's in prison, and he's creating men's groups. He's created a Bible study class. He's created an AA group, and he's got no money. He's got no financial family support. So when you guys make your donations, those are the type of people that it goes to help. All you got to do to donate is either click on the little money sign that's right underneath where you're typing right now. There's a little money symbol. You can click on that, or in the text of this video, there's the PayPal. I think it's in there, right? So if you guys want to help somebody else and you have the ability to do so, is it in here? Get your RDAP and wristband. Oh yeah, donate. It says it right here. Donate here. Hopefully it still works. For all I know, these links don't work because I don't check them every day. But there you go. Here's a link. So if you do want to help and you do want to support the cause and you do want to make a difference in somebody else's life, you know, a couple of soups to somebody struggling in prison goes a long way. So feel free, share, donate. send a nice message, shoot me an email, comment on this video, like, share, subscribe, all of those great things. I'm RDAP Dan, Federal Prison Time, one day at a time, people helping people, community is method. I will be back here Monday. Sometime next week, we'll be doing an update with one of our newest team members, CJ Johnson, who some of you may have already spoken to, some of you may already emailed from, but this guy hit the ground running. He's picking up a lot of slack, really helping us with a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff, getting everybody entered into the computer system so we don't miss anything from anybody. I'm going to introduce you guys to him next week. I think you guys are going to love him. He's been a friend of mine since I haven't seen him in probably 20 years, but we grew up together. We were best friends as little kids, and I brought him in because he's always been that kind of person. So once again, guys, thank you for joining us. I will see you guys Monday. Have a great weekend and do something nice for somebody. Peace.